Okay, 1863 is over. We're now into 1864. And there's a picture I want to show you. And it's this right here. And you are looking at Abraham Lincoln in both pictures. But I think what's going to surprise you is the year that these pictures were taken. The one on the left, 1860. The one on the right, just 5 years later. And might be like, whoa, he definitely looks way older than 5 years later in that second picture. And you might ask yourself, like, what can cause someone to age so quickly? And the answer is simple: stress. Now, it is extremely stressful being president. I'll show you some other examples here. Here is President George W. Bush in 2000 versus 2008 after 2 terms in office. And you can see he definitely aged a lot. Well, he was president, which is stressful enough, during an extremely stressful time in our country, and that was September 11th, the attack of 9/11. So you can see the stress that was caused by this event that he had to deal with as president of the United States. And even when you're not dealing with any major terrorist attack like September 11th, just being president in general can cause a lot of stress and fast aging. So obviously, Abraham Lincoln had a lot of stresses in his life. Obviously, being the president of a country during a war is stressful. He lost his son Willie, and his own wife suffered from severe depression from that. Very, very stressful. Because of his election as president, his beloved country is falling apart. He can't find a good general. He just keeps firing bad general after bad general after bad general. But what you might not have realized is that he had to also deal with trying to become president again in the middle of the Civil War. Remember, elections happen every 4 years. The last election was 1860. 4 years later is 1864. We are still in the Civil War when he has to run for president again. And so you might be thinking, well, who does he run against in the election of 1864? Does he run against a little giant? Who is he running against? And the answer might surprise you. He ends up running against General Mick Hesitant. So Lincoln is running as a Republican, Mick Hesitant running as a Democrat. And this is a very serious, important election. With Lincoln's reelection as a Republican, he is vowing that he promises that he will continue the war to end slavery and bring the country back together. He does not want all of the men who lost their lives to have lost them for nothing. Where if you are voting for General Hesitant, General McClellan, he promises that if he's elected president, he will end the war immediately. Even if it meant slavery continues, even if it meant we're two separate countries, he wanted the war to be over, which would mean that all of the people that died in the Civil War would have died for nothing. Well, the results are in for the election of 1864, and thank goodness for the history of our country, Abraham Lincoln wins again. And so hopefully you can see why so much stress was experienced by Lincoln in his 5 years between one photo and the other.